Hello everyone, my name is Jarrett Grissomer and I am the Multimedia Specialist for the Royal Oak Schools District. Today I am here with Dr. John Tafelski. John, how are you?
I'm doing great today. I'm happy to be here.
Great, I'm glad you are. So John, let's get into it. Please, first tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I have a wonderful wife and two lovely children. My wife Naseem is an attorney in the Metro Detroit area, and my daughter Lucy is 10, and my youngest daughter B is 6 years old. Lucy's a rising 5th grader, B is a rising 2nd grader. I'm excited to be in Royal Oak. I come to Royal Oak from Allen Park Public Schools in Allen Park, Michigan. I was the assistant superintendent there. Prior to that, I was the high school principal at Crestwood High School in Dearborn Heights, Michigan. And prior to that, I was a business education teacher at Fortson and Annapolis High Schools. I taught computer programming, computer networking, business law. The old keyboarding was what I first taught. That tells you how long ago I was a teacher and when I got into education. And I'm really excited to be here in Royal Oak. I've got to meet a lot of the community members, a lot of the kids, a lot of the parents, a lot of the teachers. It's been really a wonderful experience so far.
Excellent. It is a great district to work and live in, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And I feel like, I live in the area, and so I feel like I'm a part of the community. I feel like in South Oakland County and this M1 corridor, we eat and live and play in each other's spaces, and so I really appreciate the friendliness that we see in the area, and I feel like I'm a member of the Royal Oak community already.
Excellent. So John, what led you to a career in education?
So that's pretty easy. I come from a family of educators. My mom was an elementary school teacher for 36 years. My dad was a middle school teacher and counselor for 34 years. My sister was a reading specialist, an elementary school teacher, and now she works with students in transitional or temporary housing as a McKinney-Vento liaison for a school district in Oklahoma. My brother, I do have a brother. He is not in education, but he's still, we live by the principles of education every day in our lives. We want to make others better. We're in public service for a reason, and it's really important for us to make sure that all of our kids get the opportunity to do great things, and we meet them where they're at and try to level them up every step of the way.
Fantastic. Because, a family of educators is really just kind of punching through the core values that teachers and educators really live on, and that's great.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I've been in education a long time, over 20 years at this point, but I feel like I've been in it forever because I can just remember my parents being in their schools and having their experiences and talking about that around the dinner table, and it's been a very fulfilling career so far, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds for me.
Next question, what key goals do you hope to achieve in your first year as superintendent?
So I think one of the things that I've heard the most about is really making sure that the schools in the community are kind of seen as working together and having a strong partnership. I've worked in a lot of schools before. I've had a lot of experience in education, and Royal Oak is one of the few districts whose mission statement for the schools includes the word community, so a community of excellence. And I think that is a wonderful thing. And so being present, being out there, being accountable, I think it's important for me as the educational leader of the district to be accountable to the community members, to the teachers, to the students. If we make a decision, we have to be able to stand by that, and so I'm trying to be at as many things as I possibly can. I had a coffee with the superintendent last week, and next week I have another one set up. I'll be at Family Welcome Back Night. I'll be at sporting events. You can see me,
You're very busy.
I'm very busy. I may look a little different. I might be in a hoodie and some joggers, maybe even a backwards hat, but that's it. You'll get to meet me, my family. We want to be a part of the community, and so I think my number one goal is just being there and listening to people. There's going to be some action items that we have. We have some exciting opportunities ahead, but really I think ingratiating myself within the community, I think is my number one priority.
Excellent. Next question. What is your vision for the district over the next few years?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I look at a vision for a district as challenging everybody, bringing rigor to what we do every single day, and meeting the students where they're at with that rigor. And so sometimes people hear rigor and they think like, oh, this means a lot of homework, or it means something. No, I think it means we're going to push our athletes as far as we can push our athletes. We're going to support our students that are in drama and band, and we're going to try to get them to the next level that they want to get to. For our elementary school students, it's what are they ready for, and then what can we push them to strive for? What can we get them to experience? And so I think bringing that idea of leveling students up, a lot of times people will probably hear me say stretch everybody. That means me, that means the teachers, the students, the school board, the community, the parents. It's really that philosophy of we want to make sure that we can have kids achieving what they want to achieve when they want to achieve it, and we're just here to support them along the way.
And everybody means everybody.
Everybody means everybody. All means all. There's
Excellent.
no doubt about that. Yep.
Good, good. How do you plan to foster a sense of community within the district?
Yeah, so I think this leads to being open and transparent, being accountable to the community. I think that's a really important part. And again, if I make a decision at a Thursday night board meeting that somebody hears about, or a recommendation I should say, I have to be accountable, and the following week I might be at Ray's Ice Cream for a meet and greet with somebody, and I have to be able to stand up and say like, this was why we made the decision, and you know, it may have been a difficult one for you, but here is the scope of the program. Because remember, we are a school district and we have our employees and our students and our community to report to, but we also have an annual budget of $88 million. We have 700 employees. We have a massive physical plant that we have to maintain. And so while our number one goal is student achievement and student safety and making sure the students feel known and valued when they walk in every day, we do have the business side of things that we have to make sure that we are responsible fiduciaries for.
True, very true. We are a business after being a school district.
For sure, yeah. You have safety and academics, but then you also have taxpayer dollars that are coming in, and a lot of taxpayer dollars. Again, an $88 million budget annually is a lot.
Yes.
I'd have to double check this, but I would say besides Cornwall Health, I would bet we're probably the largest employer in the city.
Wow.
And so I think it's important to understand that and to live with that gravity of the trust that taxpayers have in us, and make sure that we are accountable to them and we're visible and open and transparent with what we're doing.
True, very true. A transparent district is a great district.
Yeah, and I think sometimes parents confuse transparency with like, I need to know all of the details, and those two do not always combine, because we have rules and regulations that we have to comply with, excuse me. So we can't always tell you who was involved, exactly where it was, and what exactly happened, but you have to have the trust in us. And again, I hope by being open and accountable and out there, and seeing the kind of decisions that we make as leaders in the district, we have that trust of parents to say like, okay, I have the general idea of something that happened, and I understand that the school did its best to take care of my child.
Excellent. So you mentioned children. I think the big thing, what comes from children, families, of course. So how do you ensure open and effective communication between the district and families?
Yeah, so I think checking out all of our social media channels is very important. I think that's kind of the easiest thing. Like, I can now push a button and I can communicate with every single one of our families, which is a pretty amazing thing. Like, when I think back to 2004 when I started, 2003, 2004, it was not quite the same.
It was carrier pigeons.
That's right, basically. My first semester, I had to hand our attendance to a kid coming around to collect them. And so it was just a different time in education then, but now we can bring the communication to our parents. But what I think is most important is clear and concise communication, because even as a parent, I get the PTA post, I get the principal post, I get the school post, I get the district post, and so like wading through all of that information is a lot. And so how can we be clear and concise with parents and with community members on what we truly want to convey? And we've talked about that a lot. Some things need to be in their own email because they're important and they deserve that, and other things can be put in a blog post, and there is going to be a little bit of, we got to do our best as parents. Again, I'm a parent of my daughters, and I got to read those blog posts so that I know what's going on, but then also when there's something extremely important or time sensitive or critical, that probably should be in its own email so that it can be flagged to us. And we have other ways. We have our text messages and our social media posts that are also kind of a little bit quicker and a little bit more accessible to people.
Sure. This day and age, technology is a huge purveyor of communication.
Yeah, and I think it's important for the kids to be able to carry the message home so that they can hear it from us. I plan on, as a superintendent, being in schools very frequently and talking to kids. We're looking at getting a structure where I'm meeting with kids at least once a month. I'm meeting with parents once a month through our coffee conversations around the city. I'm meeting with teachers. And so having those open lines of communications with multiple groups is pretty powerful.
So next question, how do you plan to foster cohesiveness between the staff and your office?
Yeah, so I think, again, getting in their space. I think a lot of times it's difficult for staff members to access the superintendent. When you walk here, you got to get through 2 doors, you got to get through like 5 executive assistants, and then you can finally get to me. And so I think it's a lot easier if I walk in and I see a teacher teaching and I can talk to them about what they're doing with their kids. And so being out in buildings I think is important. We have a lot of work that we have to get done here and it's very important, but one of my priorities is to be with the staff to see what they're doing. I can't, again, be the fiduciary of a district and allocate resources if we don't know what's happening in the classroom. And so we want to make sure that there is a connection between what we are doing here and in the classroom. And so I've encouraged my administrative team to grab their laptops and set up shop in a library for a day. And when the teachers are on prep, they can come on down, they can talk to the finance director, the human resource director, the deputy superintendent of curriculum and instruction. So we're gonna go with that plan, and hopefully the staff appreciates that and likes that. And sometimes it's gonna be a great conversation, and other times it's gonna be a little bit more difficult conversation of why did this happen, and this is what our explanation is. So
I know not everybody likes to be the bad guy, but sometimes any situation, you never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we talk a lot about communication with people, and I think the important thing to remember is it's a voice, not always a vote, right? And so when you have an issue that you're discussing, a lot of times there is a large swath of people on one side of the issue, a large swath of people on the other side of the issue, and then a large swath of people in the middle who don't really have an opinion one way or the other. And so I feel like when we go one way, the other group of people says, you didn't listen to us. And it's like, no, it's not that we did not listen to you or we did not consider your points, but when we're looking at what is in the best interest of the children, what is in the best interest of sustainability for the district, from a financial standpoint, from a future standpoint, these are the decisions that we have to make. And so I think that's an important piece. And a voice, not a vote can sometimes sound harsh, but I think that, when people take a survey, I think that they say like, okay, if it's 51-49, we win. And I don't think it can be looked at like that. I think it needs to be looked at as, this is our opinion. We're going to take the feedback from that survey as well, not only results from that survey, but the feedback, and say, okay, maybe we're not going with what was the 51% choice. We're going to go with the 49% choice. But here are some of the pieces that we heard that we can encompass in that to try to make this decision kind of bridge those two groups.
That's fantastic. Leniency is always great when it comes to decisions.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to make a decision, and it's just like, we made this decision, this is why, it was safety of the children, it was this, it was that. But other times when you look at it and you say like, yeah, no, that makes a little bit of sense. I never really considered that. I think that's important to be able to show the community that we can do that.
Excellent. So last question, is there anything else you would like the community to know about you?
No, I mean, I think, again, I've sent a bunch of welcome back to the school year emails. I've sent a bunch of introductions. I've gotten the chance to meet the community. I think the idea that I do want to be a part of the community, I do want to be out there, I do want people to approach me. I think that that's the most important thing for me, is that parents and students understand, and I've said this at every event I've been to from freshman orientation to band to athletics to student council. If you see something and you want me to know about it, tell me. And like, there are going to be some things that I can very quickly solve, and you will see me absolutely pull out my phone and text the person that's in charge of that department and say, hey, why don't we have this, or why have we considered this? And there are some things that we can immediately fix, and there are other things that go into kind of a long-range plan. And we really want to honor the work that people have done to this point. I think that's something that I take pride in doing. Is we had our previous superintendent, Mary Beth Fitzpatrick, did a wonderful job of putting processes and procedures in place as we're moving forward, creating this long-range strategic plan. And so I want to be out there communicating that to the families, and I want the families to know that I am accessible, I'm open, and I want to talk to them. Great.
So I've got a little surprise for you.
Oh my goodness.
We always like to do a little thing. It's called the Fast Five.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a couple choices, and you just have to, right off the top of your head, decide.
First one, right off my head.
All right.
Okay, let's go. Bring it.
Fast Five. Coney dog or Detroit-style pizza?
Detroit-style pizza.
Excellent. Favorite season?
Fall.
Great. Arts, beats, or eats?
Eats.
Would you rather live forever or know everything? Stumped you on this one.
I mean, I already know everything, so we'll go for it.
And would go blue or go green / go white?
I mean, I don't even talk about blue, so I'll pass on that. Also, an interesting fact, I grew up a Notre Dame fan. My nephew plays football for the University of Notre Dame. And so I've been a big Notre Dame fan my entire life. I got my doctorate degree from Michigan State University. My wife went to the other university in the state that I think also has a football team. I can't remember what their colors are. It has something to do with corn, I think. But, I'm a Notre Dame fan first and foremost, and I'm looking forward to watching them on Saturdays with number 26 running out there on the field. So.
Excellent. Well, John, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. It was a pleasure to have you, and I think we all look forward to what you're going to do for this district.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jared.